Now here's an example of options. Now option, just remember, is a financial derivative. Basically, one asset derives its value from a second underlying financial asset. In this case, the call option or the put option is the primary asset, and it derives its value from a secondary asset, which is the stock price. Now, I've got a fictitious company here that I've created called Maple Leafs. It's currently selling for market price $100, and there's its ticker symbol, and it's exchanged on the NASDAQ. And let's say about approximately 10 years ago, they found a compound in plants, a maple tree, and they patented the process by which we extract it and process it, and it will fight skin cancer. So we're 10 years later and we're waiting for FDA approval. If we get the FDA approval, the stock will rise to approximately, we feel, about $150. If they do not get the FDA approval, we feel that the stock is going to plummet down to approximately $50. So we're going to I guess investigate our options here, no pun intended. Now we're going to be using American options, not European options, because American options, you can exercise them at any time during this date. I've got an expiration date for 3 months. So anytime during the 3-month period we can exercise our option, whereas with European you can only exercise at the expiration date. So let's go over here and take a look at what's going to happen if we decide, if we think the top is going to happen, if we think this is going to happen, the stock is going to increase. We've got two options here. We can do a call option on it, or we can just buy it outright. And it's easy. If we buy it outright, we purchase it for $100 and it's worth $150, so our profit is $50. Easy. However, we also have to think about this. If we were wrong, we had $100 skin in the game. So that's a big chunk of cash out there that's sitting that we've put to work. Now let's look at the call option. Over here I've got the call option. The price of the call option is $5. The strike price is $120, and again there's the exercise, 3 months. And let's say it does go up to $150, as we previously mentioned. Now I have the right to purchase the asset for $120. Therefore it's worth $150, or it can be sold for $150, or I profited $30 off this particular, if I want to exercise this particular option. Now remember, we had $5, that's what it cost us, so we're in the money by approximately $25. It's right here, $25. So we made $25 and we only risked $5, whereas here we had $100 in the game versus $5. So you can see it lowers the risk. If we purchased the call option and the stock went down, let's do this different color. Let's say we purchased the stock option and it went down, or this occurred, we would be something referred to as out of the money, and we would be only out $5 if the stock plummeted to $50. If we had purchased it like we previously thought about here, we'd be out $50. So you can see with the call option we have less skin in the game, $5 versus we lost $50. Now there's a second option here. The second option is we could, if we decide to, we could short it. Now, this is probably one of the riskiest things you can do. You better be pretty sure what's going on here, and this is why. What we do when we short, we're going to borrow the stock from a person, somebody else, and then we're going to sell it. Right away, we're going to sell it for $100. So we just made $100. And what our hope is that the stock will, let's say, does go down to $50. At that point, I can just buy back the stock at $50 and give it back. Give it back. In essence, it's a little different than the classical model. Instead of buy, sell, we're buy and sell. We're selling and then we're buying it back with the hopes it goes down. But here's where it becomes real risky. It becomes risky because what if you borrow and sell for $100 and all of a sudden the stock goes to $200? And then you got to buy them at $200 and then turn around and give them back. So you've just lost $100. And then what happens if it rises to $3 or $4? So it can be very risky when you short. So we don't like to short. We'd rather look at the put option instead. So let's look at the put option. If we want to do the put option, And here's the information. If we, as an analyst, we feel that the stock FDA approval is not going to be there and the stock is going to plummet, so we go ahead and purchase the price of $5 and at a strike price of $80. And we have the 3 months again. This is an American option, so we have $5 of skin in the game, $5. And let's say that it does go up. We bet wrong. It goes up to 150. Well, it went to 150. I'm out of the money. Out of the money. And I'm not going to exercise my option, so I'm only out $5. Kind of like we were up here when we were wrong. Now, what if we were correct? We can now buy the stock at $50 and have the right to sell it at $80, and now we profited $30. And if I subtract my $5 here, I made a profit of $25. And again, all our skin in the game was only $5. So, summary: options give you the right to buy, call, or sell puts, but not the obligation, just the option.